So sometimes you go online to surf the internet. You go online on social media platforms to see what your friends are currently up to, right? And you see some of these adverts pop up before you, advert that ordinarily you didn't request for, right? So how exactly do you think these advertisers are able to signal to those social algorithms to send those particular adverts to your screen? How exactly do you think these advertisers are able to bet on the fact that someone like yourself will see this particular campaign? It is because you fall within their customer avatar. It is because you fall within that bracket, that customer persona that they want to show these campaigns or these adverts to. So in this particular lesson, I want to explain to you some of the things that are contained inside a typical customer avatar or a buyer persona document. On this particular lesson, there is an attachment that you need to download and fill it out in order to understand your ideal or your real audiences. You need to define your ideal audiences. You need to map out your buyer persona, right? Who exactly are the guys that fall within my target bracket, right? So in the typical customer avatar, you would like to define the interest of your potential customers or your potential clients. What are some of the things that interest them by which I can actually get to target or reach out to them? Are they sport lovers? Are they alcohol lovers? Are they party lovers? Are they event goers? You want to understand and map out also what their ideal interests are. You want to understand what their pain points are. What are some of these problems that give them sleepless nights? What are some of these problems that actually rob them of their beautiful and sweet sleeps in the night? You want to understand also what their behaviors are. What are some of the things they do for leisure? You want to understand where they are located. Where exactly can they be found? Are they located in West Africa? Are they located in a particular region in West Africa? Can they be narrowed down to one micro and specific area of West Africa also? Are they in Australia? Right? What is their demography? I mean, talking about their age, how old should they be, right? What is the barest minimum that you can go in terms of age? What is their gender? Are they males and females, or are they males alone? What is their household income? How much potentially or actively do they earn every month? And some other very important questions you want to sincerely answer by yourself in order to map out your ideal or your potential audiences or your ideal or potential buyer persona, right? So this is what a buyer persona is, and a good understanding of a buyer persona and how to map out a buyer persona guarantees you a place in success, right? So go ahead now, download the material that has been attached to this video and map out your ideal customers and map out your buyer persona, right? Because just as I've rightly said, a good understanding of your buyer persona will help you to run a targeted PPC campaign. A good understanding of your buyer persona will help you to run a detailed and well-structured PPC campaign on Twitter, on Facebook, and several other platforms that you are going to be learning on this particular course, right? A good understanding of your buyer persona will help you write the best of content, I mean SEO rich content that target the ideal potential buyers. Having said that, let's get started with this quickly. So to create a buyer persona document or a customer avatar document, I highly recommend the suggestion from Hubspot. Hubspot buyer persona. So Hubspot provides you with a sample or a template wherein you can create a buyer persona for your business. So let's go ahead and make my persona. As you can rightly see here, make my persona. Alright, so it brings us right here to the Hubspot buyer persona section. So let's build my persona So first of all, you are required to give your persona a name. So I want to tag my persona as a real person. So let's say for instance I sell men's shoes, and then I want to name my persona Mr. John. So Mr. John is the guy, the ideal guy I want to sell my product to. So who exactly is Mr. John? Right? Who exactly is he? What interests him? Where does he currently stay? What are his pain points? What are some of the problems he's got? What are some of the problems he's got? And what are some of the solutions that my shoes can give to him? So I named this persona as Mr. John, and then I'm going to be picking an avatar from here. So let's say I pick this man as my avatar. Yeah, let's pick this man with a bad hair, right? So this is the first step. So next step is to go to the next page. So it says, how old are they? These are questions that you want to ask yourself also. How old is the guy I really want to sell my shoes to? Right? You begin to think. So, and it's very important that you note this. Buyer persona or customer avatar document change as your business progresses. So let's say for instance this year you decided to target 18 years old children or 18 years old men or women. In the forthcoming years, in the next years, you can decide to target older people, maybe as a result of running some campaigns and discovering ultimately that younger persons or younger people are not actually subscribing to your product or your service. So you want to take your time to maybe target a new audience, a new age, right? So for Mr. John, I'm targeting people between ages 25 and 34 for now guys. So I'm targeting 25 to 34. Bear in mind I don't have this business running at the moment. It's not existing, right? The business is non-existing. I'm just setting this up tentatively, right, with the idea or the knowledge I already have about this industry. I'm thinking that a 25 years to 34 years old man, Mr. John by name, should be able to afford, should be able to buy my product or the service I'm trying to market to him. So what is the highest degree or level of school your persona has completed? So let's say if he has completed a diploma, that's fine. He has completed let's say same college, let's say bachelor's degree. Yeah, maybe because he's got a bachelor's degree, he most likely will be able to afford my product. Maybe a diploma student may not be able to afford the product. It all depends on who you think your ideal audiences are. So we'll go to the next one, right? You say, what is the size of the organization? Okay, let's see. What organization, what industry do they work in? So for Mr. John may be working in, let's say, banking or financials. So let's say finance, right? So let's say finance. So Mr. John works in the finance because most likely I want to sell my shoes to bankers that always know the value of wearing good shoes and good suits, right? So maybe I want to target those that work in the finance industry. So it all depends on the industry you want to target as well. So while this is just one, right, as your business progresses, you can also bring in other industries. But for this particular persona, you are only allowed to select one. So maybe when you now begin to run your business in real time, you can come up with other industries. So what was the size of the organization? So let's say self-employed, no. 1 to 10 employers. So most finance institutions have up to 51 to 200, sometimes more than that. But let's just leave it at this and then move to the next one, right? So let's move to the next one. And then it says, what is their job title? So a person like Mr. John who works in the finance industry, right, most likely will be an accountant, right? An accountant. How is their job measured? Lead generated, revenue generated, team productivity. So most banks is team productivity.
right? So who do they report to? They report most likely to the CEO or to the director, let's say CEO, right? So sometimes these questions may not make sense to your particular business, but it's just important that you go ahead and fill them, right? So let's go to the next one. It says, what are their goals and objectives? So a person like Mr. John works in the bank. I want to buy good shoes. Obviously wants to look good, to look really good. So someone like Mr. John really wants to look good. So what are the biggest challenges? So communication, resources, change management, collaboration, and this. Problem solving and decision making, no. So add option. If none of these options have above apply, add one here and press enter. So let's say poor quality shoes, right? So poor quality shoes. Another one can be very expensive wares, right? Another one can be poor delivery system. Might be a challenge that someone like Mr. John will have when it comes to buying shoes. What are their job responsibilities? So let's say everyday account balancing, right? So this is an idea of whom my ideal audience is. So what tools do they use or need to do their job? So they sometimes use accounting and bookkeeping. They use CRM softwares, project management, email, invoicing, word processing program. This also business intelligence dashboard. And if you can't find anyone here, you can also go ahead and add an option. So how do they prefer to communicate with vendors or other businesses? So for instance, if they eventually want to do business with you, how do you think they'll be most comfortable to reach out to you? So sometimes people that work in the bank don't make calls, right? They simply send either text message or social media, right? They don't even send emails because they don't even send emails because those emails does not belong to them. Sometimes before they get to their houses, maybe late in the night, so they don't really have the time to check their emails or to send emails or even to call. So let's say text messaging, right? And then we'll move on to the next one. So how do they gain information for their job? Well, so let's say direct instruction from their line managers, right? Direct instruction from their line managers. What social network do they belong to? So they belong to almost all of this, right? They belong to almost all of this. So apart from Pinterest, so Pinterest is not too popular in Nigeria. So let's go to next. So all of these questions are very important because when you begin to run online campaigns for your business, like let's say Facebook advertising, YouTube advertising, Twitter advertising, some of this information will help you to better target your customers, right? Because a simple look into your customer avatar document will give you an insight into whom you should target and whom you should not target, right? So now that you're done with this, right, you can just go ahead and just download and export. So it's asking us to fill out our name. So this is Mr. John Smith. So let's assume that this is well filled. So just go ahead and fill your name, email address, phone number, website, and all of that, and then download, right? Okay, so it says I must fill all of this. So let me fill this, right? Let's go ahead and fill this, right? So let's say counselors hive.com. So this is this, right? Let's download this. Right. So Patrick, your persona is ready. We hope you loved this tool as much as we loved making it for you. Right. So let's go ahead and download our persona. Let me download this. So it's generating the PDF. So it will generate the PDF and deliver it to you on your computer. So this is downloads here, Mr. John. So Mr. John is downloaded. That is a buyer persona or a customer avatar. So let's open this up, Mr. John. Yeah, so this is the document we just created right now. So this document is very simple and straightforward, and it helps you to be able to run a well detailed or targeted advertising when the time comes for you to do that. I hope this makes sense to you. Thank you so much, guys, for staying up till this time. Thank you so much for going through this lesson with us. We hope to see you in the next lesson.